Good afternoon, everyone. This is Michael O'Malley here with the severe weather outlook and discussion for April 9th, 2020, recorded around 5 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time. We do have this moisture advection that has been partially responsible for the severe weather threats over the past couple of days across the central United States, and we've definitely seen that across portions of Indiana and Illinois and Kentucky and Ohio last night with the strong severe weather threat there. Today we are seeing a more focused severe weather threat here across southern Texas with an enhanced risk area. We do have this very strong moisture advection that has lifted north over the last couple of days, and this return flow cycle is expected to continue and fuel a potentially violent severe weather outbreak potentially this weekend into early next week across portions of the Gulf Coast states, and we'll touch base on that in just a little bit. We do notice we do have somewhat of a warm front / stationary front across this region right here across portions of the Gulf Coast states, and what that's going to do is that's going to continue to pump moisture directly feeding up into these thunderstorms that are developing across southern Texas today. And again, that's going to provide for ample moisture and ample instability today across that region, and then again, as I said later, downstream here for the potential severe weather outbreak next weekend. Taking a look here at the Storm Prediction Center, there is an enhanced risk for severe storms today across pretty much from the Mexico-Texas border all the way up through near Waco, Texas, and includes Austin and Houston. There is an enhanced risk. Small chance for tornadoes, but mainly the main threats are damaging winds and large hail. Hail obviously being a very heavy concern today, a 30 hatched area set up across there. And taking a look here, this is the 18Z sounding from Brownsville, Texas. You do notice a decent amount of elevated instability, pretty much almost already rooted down at the surface. You do notice the photograph, though, is not as strong there. We probably have some ongoing convection across this area currently that is probably hindering a little bit of that, so I wouldn't trust this photograph too well, but you do notice that we do have pretty substantial instability and a little bit of an elevated mix layer, and that's going to set the stage for some pretty large hail going on later today. Jump up to Corpus Christi, you do notice a lot more elevated, or a lot more in the way of instability, over 4,000 Cape, and that's going to suffice again for some very large hail events later today. That very large amount of instability is being fueled by the surface dew points being pumped up, and all this moisture being pumped up through the Gulf of Mexico, which is already very warm, and it's just adding to that fuel. We do have a little bit of an elevated mix layer here, and that's kind of providing for that stout, robust dry air above the surface that's going to provide for that significant hail threat. And we do have a little bit of a cap, which is also pretty good because that's going to provide for that buildup of the convection, or a buildup of that energy. And once this cap breaks, which it has already started to break here, we're going to see rapid development of these severe thunderstorms and large hail producers. Again, we do have a severe thunderstorm watch that has already been issued. You do notice that we do have that convection ongoing already just north of San Antonio. And again, right across the Mexico-Texas border, we do have a couple of severe thunderstorm warnings already. And you do notice these are going to be mainly for large hail. The threat for tornadoes is not very explicitly high, but that significant hail threat is certainly going to be there. That wind and hail threat is certainly going to be there today. Let's take a look. The high-resolution HER model, you do notice that these thunderstorms continue to persist, and we get more development of these thunderstorms throughout the night. These clusters of thunderstorms that develop right before sunset here, which is just now in a couple of hours. And these will slowly begin to kind of propagate off to the east-southeast. These will propagate to the east-southeast with time. And so these could spread all the way into the Louisiana area by later tonight, as these storms mainly congeal into somewhat of a cluster here. And you do notice that in these surface dew points here, again from the high-resolution HER, we still do have a lot of that, but you do notice some cold pools developing, and this is associated loosely with the outflow of these thunderstorms that are going to be going up. And you do notice by then later tonight, the dew points are pretty well suppressed down there, just immediately confined to the coastline. Now, getting back to what we have potentially next week, we'll jump to what could be a very potential significantly dangerous situation next week. And you do notice that on day 4 here, we do have a slight risk for severe storms all the way from Tallahassee through Raleigh, North Carolina, all the way back through Houston, with this enhanced risk from Columbus, Georgia, through Dothan, Alabama, just south of Birmingham, Alabama, including Jackson, Mississippi. And this could be a very significant severe weather threat. Notice the very strong low-level flow, support widespread damaging winds, and organized severe weather threat will occur. So there could be a pretty substantial, significant tornado potential as well. The potential for long-track supercells and corresponding strong tornado threat is also going to be there. And then on day 5, the threat shifts east of Tallahassee, and what could be a squall line from all the way up from near Virginia Beach through Tallahassee, Florida. So this also includes Charleston, South Carolina. So this could be a pretty significant severe weather threat shaping up for this weekend, Easter Sunday, into next Monday. We'll take a look here at the high-resolution NAM model. You do notice that, jump ahead here till Friday, you do notice that there's not really a lot of return flow. The moisture is pretty suppressed all the way down in through portions of Florida. You do notice that really this isn't really kicking far to the north, but you do notice what's lurking just offshore, these 60 dew points that are going to be creeping further in. And you do notice that we kind of get this little bit of a suppressed phase that kind of moves in here Saturday that would otherwise block a returning severe weather potential. But you do notice that as we get cyclogenesis that occurs right to the north, that's going to be moving up like that. It's actually going to be a little bit further to the south like that. We're going to start to see the cyclogenesis and extreme moisture returns, and you just can watch here. We get that quick moisture return by 0Z Sunday. We get that return flow, and we head into the day on Sunday, and we get the strong moisture return flow. Already strong 60 dew points with 70s right along the Gulf Coast here. And by 18Z Sunday, it is very well in tune for a significant severe weather threat down here. You do notice also from the NAM here, just take a look here. We do have a potential cluster of thunderstorms that might dive towards the east-southeast here during the day tomorrow. And that might clip portions of the southeastern United States, but very low severe weather potential with that. Not really concerned with that. Our main system is going to be here towards the end. You do notice that cyclogenesis is beginning, and you do notice our deepening cyclone, which will be into the 980s probably by late Sunday, will dip off to the north, and we get this trailing band of convection showers and thunderstorms. And let's take a kind of a proximity sounding. You do notice that this is a PDS tour. Potential for a very significant severe weather outbreak with these strong photographs that are curving like that. Maybe a little bit of veer-back veer here, which would otherwise negate that, but strong, ample instability over 1,000. So we'll just really have to watch this. Again, it could be a very significant severe weather outbreak shaping up. So just kind of stay tuned to local media and obviously continue to watch the potential for a severe weather threat across the next couple of days here across Texas today, and gradually shifting off towards the southeastern United States as the days come by. Stay tuned, and I will have another video forecast update tomorrow. Be safe.